Hello and welcome to Cipheros. Today we're gonna go with the second part of this mini series about problem solving with JavaScript. I suppose that you've already watched the first part, so don't escape. Don't escape. Actually, we must go along with the process, and even if you already took a mini course or just watch similar videos, it's good to get back to overview the concepts because there are many things which we didn't pay attention on the past. Actually, this may be easier for those of who could solve the summation problem at the first attempt. So let's say how it is. Our beginner's problem is create a function that gets the index of an array's element from a one-base number system. I suppose that you already know what's it, but if you forgot it, let me explain it. That probably you've learned it on your first JavaScript or Python course, not because it's probably too abstract you forget it. In spite of problem solving is really about covering abstract concepts to enhance that process for real situations. This is a problem, try to solve it. I challenge you to do that before the explanation because it is just to stimulate your brain. In contrast from our everyday not mathematical engineering way of thinking on programming, we start countering by 0. So let's say that we have 4 markets. Typically we set 1, 2, 3, and 4. But in programming we start countering by 0. So in reality we have 3 down marks. So let's say that this is the number 0, this is the 1, this is the 2, and this is the 3. That's what we actually want to do. To turn a typical JavaScript array, or programming language actually, typical one-base number system. Now we need to realize, or just remembering how to access to an element of an array. If an array is called array, declared with a variable, for example, and this I is an index where x is the element, we get that. With this notation, actually, we get the element we want. Let's say that our array is a variable, called r. And just to set another example, I don't know, -2, 4, -10, x, Fabrizio, and so on, with 10,000. If we console log array, setting the index that we want, for example, I want to display this x, so because we have the 0-base number system, this 2 is placed on the 0, then this 4 is 1, 2, and 3. So if I want to access to this x, we're gonna set the index number 3, and we save it, and we get this x. So in our case, if I want to access to Fabrizio, we're gonna counter it, and we get that is 4. So I want to display it, console log array 4, and we get Fabrizio. And the same thing, by the way, if we want to access to this 10,000, let's say that our array is really large, and we can not see the last element, so there are, so we write r len -1, which is obviously the same thing that saying all the array's length and get back 1. Let's say that because there is nothing back, we get to the last element. The same thing if I want to access to this Fabrizio name, -2, we are getting before the last element. And whether it's on math, physics, chemistry, on programming, we actually must be clever, clever. This a weird way of thinking in which we actually know these things that normally people don't. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, but the programming's case it is 0, 1, 2, 3. You notice something? Every index is 1 less than the other's case. So in the programming's case it is 0, but on the real one it is 1. 0 is 1 less than 1. This follows the same principle. On the programming's case, it is 1, but on the real life's case, it is 2. 1 is a unit less than 2. On the programming's case, it is 2, but on the real ones, it is 3. It is also a unit less. And as you see, we can do basic operations inside of the index declaration for our array. For example, if I want to access to this minus 10, okay, 0, 1, 2. So what is the equivalence of 2? 1 plus 1, and it's supposed that it's gonna give us minus 10. You get it. There we go. Now, analyzing the problem, what data is on our hands is first, obviously, create a function. The second would be defining the parameters, okay, because which is not always the case, but we will perform an action, okay, with two things that can vary depending on the case. Okay, so what are those stuffs? The index, okay, we want to access, and the array. Let's say on this case, the array was this, and the index we want to access is any. Let's use this array, okay? We're gonna set a function, a one base number, and the parameters obviously are gonna be a array and I for index. Okay, these two words, okay, these two words actually can vary. Okay, so just for graphing it, I will set array pro and your mode I. This doesn't matter. We're gonna perform the same syntax, which is this array pro. Okay, this is one array, and our index is inside of it, and just subtract by 1. Right on the function we want to access to 3. JavaScript read this 3 minus 1, and that is 2, which is really this. Let's console log, okay, our function where our array is gonna be this. Okay, this order actually matters, and the index we want to access is 1. Okay, let's say, and instead of returning 4, it would return minus 2, but we didn't set the return command. Okay, so let's say that it's already 1. And obviously, to understand this process even better, we can operate all the functions as we were the computer itself. Example, you have it here. Okay, one base. Example, you have it here. Okay, the function's name actually doesn't matter. Okay, the one base counting is the same thing with the array and the index we want to access, which is supposedly 3, and on this array it will be this element, okay, 4. But actually JavaScript reads this as the index number 2. So 3 minus 1 is 2, obviously, and we've got on this array 2, and we've got on this array 0, 1, and 2, and we access to 4. I hope that this was easy to you. I explained it as much as I could. Really, we cannot squeeze this topic even more. Okay, so rewatch the video if it's necessary slowly, and you will notice even the stuffs that previously you didn't. So I am Fabrizio Machado from Cipheros, and we're gonna find us on the next one.